All right, this week we have something truly special. This is the 2020 Corvette C8 from Chevrolet, and I'm super excited to finally get my hands on this. And in case you can't tell from the seat belts, the exterior paint is a very pretty Sebring orange. So I just wanted to walk you through some of the details on this incredibly attractive, very anticipated vehicle. So let's flip the camera and take a look. All right, I already have the vehicle on, so I just figured, I noticed that the intro graphic doesn't show up unless you are outside and lock the doors, and then you stand outside for a little bit and turn it back on. So I figured I'd just start with the car on since it was on, and just walk you through some of the details. So the first thing you should know, and let's see if I can bring this out a little bit, everything is incredibly driver focused. So if you, you're sitting in the driver's seat and everything is tilted towards you. You've got the info screen here, it's tilted towards you. All of these little controls here, the little buttons, they're all within easy reach. The cup holders are on this side of that ledge. You've got your drive mode here, and you've got a couple of little extra buttons here. Especially helpful in the middle. That button, it's an extra feature. It raises and lowers the front of the vehicle when you are going over speed bumps. Super helpful in Chicago. That outside button gives you the camera, and I want to show this to you for a minute. So this is the front camera, and I find this to be really helpful. I don't know if you can tell, but right here is the curb, and so I was able to pull up close to the curb without touching it. So this makes sure that you're in the spot, but you don't hit anything that you don't want to hit. So you can also look at the rear view, more of a 180 view, again, straight on front view, which loving this more than pretty much anything else in terms of cameras. And then, the split, so you can kind of get a really good view for 360. So at any rate, just wanted to share that, and you can press that at any time with that little button here, turn it on, and then flip through. I know a lot of people are pretty upset by the fact that this is not a manual transmission. You do have a manual mode. I've just gotten into this vehicle, so I haven't had the chance to test that out yet, but you have some pretty wicked cool paddle shifters here that are metal. So maybe on the way home, getting on the highway, I will test that out. But in order to get these to work, you lift up and then park is a push. I don't know if you can see the heads-up display back there, but let's see if I can bring it in a little bit. So you can, there is a heads-up display, and what I like about it is you can move it up, move it down. You can change the information that you're seeing up there. So I think that's kind of cool. And then you can change the brightness and dimness. I'm a huge fan of head-up displays. I like it mostly for the speed aspect, because when you're driving, frankly, you're not really looking down here to see what's going on. At least you better not be. You better be keeping your eyes on the road when you're driving a vehicle like this. So you have the racing steering wheel, flat top, flat bottom. You do have the little notch here, so you know which way is up. I like the stitching detail. I should point out this is an LT2 trim. It has the Z51 package on it, performance package, and it has a lot of little extra features as well. So you can see the carbon fiber inserts here, the Bose audio system. I mentioned this raise and lower is an extra feature. When I spec'd it out, so like the base price for the C8 Corvette is just under $60,000. I don't know who is going to get a Corvette for that price. I'd love to see what a Corvette at that price looks like. But when I spec'd this out, it really topped out closer to 80. I think it was just under 80,000 when I put all the features on it that I thought that it had. Because I did not get a spec sheet. This is basically how you open the door here. So you press that and the door will open, so there's not a traditional door handle. But really, frankly, you probably don't want to keep looking at the interior, although the interior is pretty nice. I will say, you know, this is a little bit plasticky. You know, the headliner texture is a little bit cheap. You know, this is not the convertible, but the coupe with the targa top. You know, this is definitely plasticky. I don't know how you get around that. OnStar available. But I like the little details. Like, I like the detail here. I like the feel of the leather here. You know, I like how the stitching looks. I don't love this. You know, in pictures, it doesn't look good. In real life, I don't even think it looks much better. So can you tell my husband has been in the passenger seat? He's got the cooled seats on. So that's really nice. Oh, and they're vented, I guess I should say, because now it's quiet. All right, but I'm guessing you probably don't want to spend too much time looking at the interior. So I'm going to turn the vehicle off. I will grab the key and we will go outside and take a look. So again, that opens it up. I want to say my poor husband, I brought him to the forest preserve so that I could do this video, and I'm making him sit on the side. You can tell he's really enthused and enthralled. All right, but so what I really think you want to see is probably this. There's a little button you push, and then you have the engine. It's a V8 engine. Delivers 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, and 0 to 60 mile per hour time is 2.8 seconds. I have not had the opportunity to test that. Also, you have a rear trunk. I was able to sit in this yesterday. They say you can fit golf clubs back here. I believe them. I almost was able to fit laying down head to head, and I'm about 5 feet tall. I had to scrunch a little bit, but let's see. Take you a little bit closer. Now that's really cool too. So you just have to shut it a little bit and then it'll grab and shut the rest of it. So I'll do a quick walk around here. I love the harder lines. I like how this looks. I like the harder lines on this. I think they've done a great job keeping, you know, the Corvette character while then, you know, bringing in the mid-engine. This is the first mid-engine Corvette, and so it's certainly a challenge. Step up and try not to fall over. All right, but yeah, so it's certainly a challenge, you know, where you want to keep the character, you want this to look like a Corvette, but you know, you're changing pretty much what this vehicle is fundamentally by changing the engine placement. Sorry, I was a little distracted. The police were doing the slow drive-by, checking out the car. So air vents there. Wheels. You can see some functional venting here. Really cool. We've got the tailpipes here. I also love this Stingray emblem. I mean, all the details on this new Corvette are just really well done. I like the way it looks. I like the way it sounds from the outside. I like the interior. I think the interior is pretty well done. You know, I like the details. As I pointed out, there were some plasticky touches, but for the most part, just well done. Corvette emblem here. Front brakes. And similar to the way you get out, you know, you just have a button, like it's a little touchpad under here that you put your hands on and it opens. Let's see if we can catch the intro graphic. There we go. I think that looks really cool. So hopefully I've given you a good look at the details on this 2020 Chevrolet Corvette LT2 trim with the Z51 performance package. But what do I think of it so far? I like it. I think it's beautiful, and I think it's really well balanced, more balanced because of the mid-engine placement. And, you know, I haven't been able to really tear it up or go on a racetrack or anything like that. I've just been driving on highways and city streets, and I found that it does really well for a sports car. Obviously, you're going to feel little bumps and grooves and potholes and things like that, but I think that when you keep this in touring mode, it does a pretty well job of mitigating some of the harshness. I had fun flipping it into, you know, the sport mode to accelerate onto the highway and to pass some people. Flipped it over into track mode, but obviously really didn't see much of anything going on there because I'm not doing twisty turnies or driving fast on a racetrack. We went on a little stretch of twisty turny road. Anybody who's in Chicago might be familiar of Sheridan Road, but went there and found that it was, again, well balanced, handled really well, and just felt great. The steering is tight, the seats, so I mean, I'm not big. I'm 4'11", 95 pounds, and I felt like they gripped me into the seat pretty well. And my husband, who is about 5'8", 190, he said it was a little tight, but not uncomfortable. In terms, so there is one small complaint that I have. So this glass that you see here behind me, I don't know what that is or what they've done to it, but it is like super thick, and the materials that they've used in the vehicle are very sound deadening. I think that would be the best way to say it. So very sound deadening, and the end result is you don't hear the engine that much in the cabin. And I wanted to, you know, and maybe people who are buying this car don't necessarily want to hear the rumble of the engine as they're driving. But I did. And so I missed that. I mean, you can certainly hear it under hard acceleration. You hear it more when you're in sport mode. But you know, in just everyday driving, when you're like, you accelerate, I mean, you get a little bit of a blip, but it's not a constant rumble. So I did kind of miss that. But in terms of everything else, I really like it. As I said, wasn't really a fan of, you know, the little strip of controls that kind of block off the driver's area from the passenger area. But I did find that when my husband and I wanted to argue over the radio station, I won, because everything is facing me. So definitely appreciate that, because we do not listen to the same music. So I guess, do I like it? Yes. If I had the money, would I buy it? Yes. Do I want to take this on a racetrack? Heck yes. So hoping I'll have the opportunity someday to do that. And just in general, I only have this for a short amount of time. I'm just going to enjoy the drive.